So I'm in Denver in the middle of 3 days of judging at the GABF, the Great American Beer Festival. And judging is something that I've done for years, even before I started beerology. When I first became interested in working in beer, I downloaded the BJCP guidelines and I tasted against them, I memorized them, I joined a local homebrew club and started judging competitions there. And to this day, it is for me my favorite and certainly one of the more valuable activities that I conduct, even though it's not a paid position. And it's valuable to me for two reasons. First of all, it's a way to put my tasting experience and studies to good use and contribute to the industry by providing very open and honest feedback to brewers on their beers. It's a big responsibility, but also an honor and a pleasure. I love being able to make this contribution. But that's not what I'm here today. The reason I'm making this video is to share a little bit of a quirk that is part of being a beer judge that a lot of people don't think of and or are not aware of. And it is bothering me in this moment, so I'm sharing it with you. And what is bothering me more specifically is this beer here, which is delicious. I will not describe it to you because that's not the point. The point is that I really like this beer and I will never know what it is. I will never know why, because the judging process is blind. So in beer competitions, what happens is there is a group of judges at the table, and in silence, each of us individually will rate the beer, write down the feedback for the brewers, and take the time to really break down, identify any off flavors, so on and so forth. And then once everyone is done, everyone's completed their personal notes, we open a conversation, and as a group, we debate the merits of various beers. So clearly when beers are off, have clear defects, it's obvious that they will not be moving forward. But in some cases, we end up with a number of beers that are very tasty, and we start, examining nuances. And there are many beers that are excellent, but are not necessarily in the top 3 that will medal. And that's the case with this beer here. This beer, everyone agreed, was very tasty, but there were better beers on the table, and those beers were moved on. And this beer, of course, I provided very positive feedback to the brewer. I let he or she know how great I think this beer is, and the nuances of why I appreciated it in particular. But on the flip side of that is the fact that I will never know what this beer is. So I have this little bit to continue to enjoy, which I will. But it's just interesting to me because a lot of the time people say, have you tasted any new delicious beers lately? And most of the time the answer is yes, but I have no clue what they were. On the odd time, everyone on the table agrees with my favorites and they get passed on and they win a medal, and in those cases I absolutely find out what they are, and that's very exciting. But that's not the case with this beer, so I'll just enjoy it quietly. Oh, that's tasty.